Hello, and welcome to the second episode of my new podcast series. This week I've been lucky enough to speak with Asha Taranbi, also known on YouTube as Queen Ash. Her story about county lines, selling drugs, and redemption came to my attention earlier this year. Asha's voice is a vital one in making young people stop and think about the choices they make, who they trust, and more importantly, how they can avoid being groomed into drug trafficking. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy. I basically just, the message that you talking out about it, I know for a fact it's going to help so many other people kind of avoid that lifestyle. Do you see what I mean?
Right.
Because I've only heard it from a male perspective about country lines and that type of thing. I've only ever heard it from a male perspective about them doing that type of stuff. But I think you speaking out about it will prevent a lot of girls from going down the same route. It was so raw and honest, but it was also very like you were very humorous when you were telling. You know what I mean?
I think it's because I've just kind of got over it. You know, it took me a long time, and I was just like, you know what, it's done. Now that I look back at it, I'm 26 years old now. This all started off when I was 16. So it's over, like over a decade ago. So I'm just like, it took me a while to kind of understand and go through it. Obviously, when I was in prison and stuff like that. But the minute I come out of prison and I kind of like, I healed from it, I was like, you know what? Did I actually really like go through that? Like I let myself go through that. So that's where the humor was coming from. The fact that anyone can go through this lifestyle, anybody, but there is a way out. You do not need to be sad, depressed, and crying like, oh my God, I sold drugs, I can never go back. Laugh about it. Like that's the intention behind the whole, you know, the humor, you know? So yeah.
How did you get into that lifestyle? Was it from school, college?
Yeah.
Your friends?
Yeah. Like basically it started off with one of my girlfriends was obviously involved with these guys. Well, she was actually dating one of the guys. That's how it started off, dating one of the guys. And then next thing you know, there's a group of them, whatever. She's like, hey, do you guys want to come and hang around with this guy? Like, it's gonna be fun. Da, da, da. Obviously being 16 years old, we were like, yeah, why not? Let's just go and hang and have some fun or whatever. And that's how it started. Literally, it went from having a laugh, a great time, to, oh, they got nice cars. I like their cars. I like their clothes. How do they pay for their clothes? How do they pay for this? How do they do? You know what? I want to be involved in whatever you're involved in. That's how it started to like escalate as the days was going on.
Wow. It's easy to step into and to not really see what's happening, I guess, when you're that age, because like you, I did like kind of, I enjoyed the party lifestyle. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
You have more time on your hands. I mean, you have 3 days at college, probably a part-time job.
Yeah.
That time is spent with, I don't know, like your friends and such. So it's really easy to fall into that trap.
Yeah. So yeah, literally it just went from like partying, having fun, whatever, we're going partying, blah, blah, the same old stuff. There's boys there. Oh, boys. Oh, boys. And then next thing you know, it kind of just sort of like escalated into the whole...
You holding it? Was it you holding it? So they'd be like, can you hold this for me, please?
Yes, that's initially, that's not like how it started off. It was just one of those ones like, oh, you know what? I think after like chilling with them for several weeks, because at the beginning we chilled with them for like 2 to 3 weeks without going home, weirdos. But anyways, that's another story. We were having a good life, cars, money, clothes, shopping, everything, hotels, everything. But then afterwards, I started to realize how they getting this money. So it kind of clicked in my mind, oh, they're obviously doing some illegal stuff. So then they're obviously like, now, oh, can you hold this little package for me? Can you just do this little favor for me? You know what? There's a customer outside. Can you go and serve this customer for me? Can you help me out with this? Da, 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 da. And it was always, oh, I don't mind. Yes. Because in my mind, I was thinking, these people are so nice to me. You know, they're paying for my hotels, my outfits, my cabs, everything. Not just me, all my friends. So I'm like, you know what? Of course, if somebody's showing me so much love, I'm going to do that favor for them. So next thing you know, I'm in a car headed up to Maidstone in Kent. And then it was 4 of us girls at the beginning. So obviously we went there. It was all laughy, ha 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 ha. Ended up staying there for several weeks. And at this point, I'm just like, you know what? This is not exactly what I imagined it to be, because in London, we were getting treated like royals. You know, life was good. But now we're trying to...
Did they put you in like a rundown flat? What was it? Where did they put you in? What type of accommodation?
It was basically like trap houses, and these trap houses were customers' houses, right? So these customers, obviously, they've got a habit or whatever. So the customers would get paid by the drugs and stuff like that. So then, you know, the way it worked, it was like they would get like 2 per day and 2 for the night, just so that they wouldn't kick us out. So at the beginning, it was just like, oh, wow, you know, like...
You had to live with an addict.
What was it like living with an addict?
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, I didn't really see it as like living with them. I was with my friends. I was very like, oh, let me impress my friends. They're friends. So we were always in groups. It was more like I was my friends getting up to no good. I never seen it as like, oh, I'm actually living with these people, because in my mind, I have a home, I have a life. I never really lived with these people, if that makes sense. I was just there, like, just getting up to no good.
On holiday.
Yeah, literally. When you're a teenager, I don't know how to explain it to a lot of people. When you're a teenager, it's so easy for you to think that life is so glamorous and so easy. It's not easy at all. You know, if somebody said to me, I'll pay £10,000 today, go and live that same life that you did for 1 week, £10,000, I wouldn't accept it. I actually wouldn't accept it. I promise you, it was that bad. But at that time, I didn't see it like that. But yeah, so anyways, now we're in these houses and stuff like that. I'm with these people that I think that are my really good friends, because the girls were my close friends. Till this day, I speak to all the girls, but the boys, obviously, we met them through the whole, you know, drug dealing, whatever. But at the same time, I was like, you know, these are my friends, man. I love them so much. I'll protect them, whatever. But at what cost, though? But at what cost? It was like, because we were so young, we were only like 16, 15, 14, and the ages were going down. People were always coming up to us, trying to rob us. I actually remember one day, we was in a house, in a customer's house, right? Bear in mind, we're all teenagers, really, really young teenagers, right? These customers walked into the house with a sock, a long sock. They put snooker balls, you know, snooker balls, in the sock. They put about 2 or 3 snooker balls in the long sock. They walked into the house and they tried to smack us with the snooker balls. At this point, we're like, we can tell. We already knew. Everybody knows about the sock and the snooker ball. We all know. And the minute they came,
that's prison.
We were all like, yeah. So we all knew about it. So we're all like traumatized. They were like, give us all your drugs. We're like, take it. We gave them all the money. We gave them all the drugs. We gave them everything. We're like, you know what? It's not worth it. My life is not worth a few £1,000s, you know, just take it. Other times I've witnessed people get stabbed right in front of my eyes. Right in front of my eyes. It's pretty gruesome. Like, oh, child, I swear, I feel like I can't even believe I'm actually functioning as a normal human being. I can't believe
that lifestyle and basically doing road. That's basically what it is, doing road, trap houses and stuff. Yeah. You've got enemies coming up. Territorial, isn't it, when you're selling drugs?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But yeah, I used to think, which hearing about your story really changed my mind, is that a woman would get away with selling drugs more than a man would, because they would be looked at, I guess, by the police as less a suspect at doing that than that you can be more inconspicuous.
I feel like that is true, though.
But then it's the other way. They will just They see you, like, you need to take. Oh my gosh.
Do you know what it is? You know what I think? You know what I think is, yeah? Like in London, when I was in London, obviously I was not on the police's radar. They never used to look at me. They never thought anything of me. You know, I'm a young girl, whatever. In a way, I believe in London, women are overlooked.
Yes.
Because they never think of women doing anything. They always target the guy. That's how London is. But because I was in Ipswich, the fact that my brown skin stands out, I was already on their radar straight away. They were like,
a very, very white area that you were in.
Yeah. So I till this day, I feel like if I was in London, I don't know if I'm correct, like saying this correctly, or not. I don't think I would have got the sentence that I got if I was in London. I don't think so. I got 7 years. Initially, I got 7 years. But anyways, they were trying to make an example of us. But the reason why that I was targeted by the police in Ipswich is because the minute they saw somebody of color, it's just like they knew, which is so sad and so depressive. It's like, why do us Londoners do that? We go to these county lines and it's always us lot that's of color, and then it's just so embarrassing because it's like the minute they see us, I'm not saying every single person who drives a nice car, of course that's not, it can't be a fact, but they stereotype us because of what we done. You know, like we were in big numbers. We were coming from London in big numbers. Sorry, my nieces are crying in the background. I really apologize. We were coming in big numbers, right? Loads of cars, and it was so embarrassing. And we're embarrassing ourselves. Like, we are embarrassing ourselves. We're going to areas where there's not one black person. The only black people that's coming there is me, who's a drug dealer. So straight off the bat, of course, they're thinking, oh, yeah, you know, let me make an example of her. It was so embarrassing. But anyways.
Money when you were like selling. So they would give you obviously a stash. Obviously, you go to the top guy and he gives you your cut and then you sell and give him. Were they giving you like a wage basically?
No. At the beginning, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a wage. It's a rip-off. The whole thing is built just for the main guy to make his money, and his little, and he's never seen. And he's that, well, it's occasionally you hear of him, you talk about him, but you never see him. The middlemen see him, and everybody has so much respect for him. He's probably been selling drugs for maybe since he was a teenager himself, and he's like in his 30s now. So he's built up this reputation that he's this respectable person, but nobody sees him. Do
you know if he ever got caught?
I mean, he got caught for other things, but not for the same thing that I got caught for, which is like, that's not fair. Not that I care anyways, but it's just not fair.
Process them saying to you, like the judge saying, we're going to give you 7 years. How do you mentally process that at what, like 19, 18 years old?
I actually froze. I think I couldn't even think for like a split 3 seconds. I couldn't even think. I was just like, there's no way. I don't even know how to explain that feeling. It's almost like it's not reality. It's like almost like I was dreaming. I'm going to be doing this much sentence for my first time going to prison as a teenager. It was so shocking. Wow. I think I almost melted into the chair. I don't even know how to explain that feeling to you, to be honest with you.
How did you get caught? What was the build up to the arrest? Were you on observation with a police watch?
Yeah. So so basically it's called conspiracy to supply class A, where like they were doing like operations and stuff like that. So they were watching us. Like, I'm talking about every single move. I'm talking about going to the shop, going to your family house, meeting your local friends, going to eat some dinner, everything. You not see a man? Do you not see someone? I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it. How in my life? In my life, I never thought somebody. I'm not a celebrity. Why would I ever in my life think, oh, somebody's gonna take pictures of me? Blah blah blah. So then, and then the thing is, right, at the point when I got caught, I was now obviously holding the phone. So the charge was higher, the trap phone hotline, yeah. So I'm like the middleman now. So whatever text messages that are linked to that phone that I got caught with, I'm basically is all the evidence against me now. I've basically worked my way up. So the people at the bottom of the triangle, it's like a triangle, right? The bottom ones, the middlemen and the main men. Because I had the phone on me when I got caught by the police, they've linked me now to everybody. I'm basically the connection towards everybody, the text messages, the phone calls, everything, the areas I was at, they all linked it to a simple phone. They didn't catch nothing on me, no drugs. I got done for conspiracy to supply Class A because of the phone that I got caught with.
Damn. So did they came, arrested, was it like they smashed through the door of the trap house?
No. Basically, when the last time, obviously I got arrested several times, right? But the last time when I got arrested, what happened was my job basically was to sort of reload. So my job was to go from London up to Ipswich and whatever other areas I have to go to. So as I was on the motorway heading up to Ipswich, right, there's like a massive roundabout in Ipswich. And as I was just entering this roundabout, all I see is police cars, do, lights, flashing lights. Get out the car, get out the car, get out the car, get out the car. Screaming. I mean, they were screaming to the top of their lungs. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? This is not the kind of life that I want. I come in peace, arrest me, just take me. I don't want the loudness. So they've obviously they've took me to the police station. I stayed in the police station for 2 nights, and that was the last time that I got arrested. And they were like, you know what, we're not going to give you bail, we're actually going to take you to court tomorrow. You're going to go to magistrate's court. You see, and at this point
you sleep that night?
Yeah. No, I didn't. No. I think I kind of noticed that night. I was like, you know what, usually when I get arrested, they always just let me go before even 24 hours, they let me go. They always let me go. So now they're telling me, we're going to keep you for a second night. And on your 3rd day, you're going to go to magistrate's court. I was just like, you know what, I'm going to jail. I just knew. You know, when your mind just tells you, yep, you're going to prison, get yourself ready and prepared for anything that might happen to you in prison, get yourself prepared. I just knew. And they took me to a magistrate's court and they were like, you know what, we're not going to give you bail, you're going to go straight to prison. Yeah, they were like, you're going straight to prison. And then at that point, I was just like, you know what, I knew it. I just knew it. But I didn't ever think in my life that I would do a 1.5 years on remand. And even after I'd done the 1.5 years on remand, I was like, you know what, they're going to let me go. They have to let me go. I've done a whole 1.5 years. I'm a teenager. It's my first time going to prison. I'm sure they will let me go. They didn't let me go. I still had to do another year. And the fact that my sentence was so big for somebody who went guilty, I went guilty every single try. I went guilty. I owned up to my own mistakes for the simple fact that I didn't want to drag other people into it. I don't want to talk about other people. I don't want nothing. Just no comment. I'm guilty for whatever you have against me. I thought I was going to get easy, but I got it so bad. It was really, it was a big sentence. I couldn't even believe it, to be honest. I still, till this day, I still can't believe it.
Did the boys that you mentioned earlier, who you said were your friends, did they court as well? And did they try to drop you in it? Were they snaky during the trial?
No, to be honest, none of them actually really said, none of them actually said anything. Majority, basically, how many of us was there? 11 of us. 9 of us went guilty, only 2 went not guilty.
And how did they?
Everybody went guilty on their own part. Like, we all was just like, you know, there's pictures, there's evidence, I'm going guilty. Every single one of us were like, we're going guilty. But the 2 boys that went to trial, one of the boys was obviously trying to make it look like You know, they weren't guilty for it, so let them take the blame for it. It's their fault, blah blah blah. Well, that's what my solicitor told me. I don't know if that's the truth. I've never spoke to him after that day. You know, it was one of the two boys, and that one boy, he actually got sentenced to 9 years. 9 years, and no third off, no quarter off, or nothing. 9 years, he got 9 year sentence.
Is he still?
The same.
Is he still in?
I don't know if he's still in prison. I don't even know if he got out, because obviously at that point, I went in 2014 and I came out 2016. So I done 2 year 4 months because of all the things that got cut off for me, blah blah blah. But when we went to our sentencing, remember I told you I only had 1 year left. That's when he got sentenced to 9 years. He was out in the streets on bail. He got 9 years. So he started his sentence the day we all got sentenced. He literally walked. But then the thing is, I don't know. I'm not going to listen to my solicitor, because clearly you just can't trust. No, I don't really care. But my solicitor said that he tried to say they took the blame for it. All of them took the blame for it. So, you know, it's, you know, I've got nothing to do with it. I'm just a driver. I just drive people around, blah, blah, blah. That was his trial. In his trial, he was saying he was just a driver, you know? But
I was watching another prison stories, and there was one prison story with this guy. He was saying he was shoving the drugs into condoms and putting packs up his backside and going up and down the country, wiping off shit, selling it, and crazy money. He went inside. He's gone.
Wow. It's actually a very sad cycle, to be honest. It's really sad. I actually, to be honest with you, the reason why I speak on it so much is because I feel sorry for the people who are trapped in this lifestyle. I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I feel so sorry for people
in prison who had similar stories to you.
Who had, sorry, what, that cough?
Did you meet other girls in prison who had a like similar story to you, where they were kind of groomed?
Yes. Oh, a lot.
So, don't they?
Yeah.
Buying you stuff, building your trust. Wow.
Yeah. I think you know what's so sad? Like when I was in prison, yeah, like obviously I think this is the point where I like kind of like I changed my life around. At this point, I'm like, you know what? Life, there's so much to life. You can have everything and anything in this world. Why would I choose to be a horrible person who sells death to people? I don't want to do that to people, you know? Prison really actually opened my eyes. I was like, I could be anybody. I could be the most amazing person in the world. And as I was in prison, obviously I've made friends with people, because that's the only people you have in prison. Like, you don't have no family, no friends. And a lot of the times I don't want to be one of those people that's trying to blame everything on men. I'm not those kind of people, but every single time these girls were talking about their stories, it was always, oh, my boyfriend showed me this and my boyfriend showed me that, and you know, my ex-boyfriend did this, or a guy should. But why is it, I feel like it's the common denominator is men. I don't know if I'm just imagining this. Maybe it's just me, but the common denominator is the men. It's almost like they're always the ones who are trying to, you know, make women do things or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm not really qualified. I'm also still very young. I'm only 26. I can't speak for everybody and everything. But I just feel like a lot of women, I feel really bad for them, because the things that they're experiencing, I don't feel like it's always their fault. I don't think it's always their fault, to be honest. It's just my personal opinion.
What was it like in prison?
The food is not good at all. It's really bad. Yeah, it's really bad. It's so bland. The food itself is not bad. You get, you know, vegetables, chicken, rice, you get all of it. But whoever's cooking it is just not cooking it with flavors. It's just it's bland.
Have you ever, being out and being back at home and stuff, has anyone from that previous life of yours, because I see it as a past life, have they contacted you or reached out to you?
Yes.
Wow. To try and get you back, or what?
No. So when I started the YouTube thing, right? I just literally, like, I have the worst camera ever. I have an iPhone 8. The quality is really bad. I just was like, you know what? Let me just come on here and share my experience as a therapy session. I see YouTube as a therapy session. So I was like, you know what? Let me just talk on my experiences, blah, blah, blah. And it felt good to me. I'd done part 1 of this and part 1 of that. And every time I did it, I was like, oh, this is fun. I love it. It's helping me. But then I didn't realize that it was going to get so much attention, right? Next thing you know, I have people messaging me saying, oh my goodness, I'm going through the same thing. You know, I don't know how to get rid of these people, blah, blah.
Damn. Are you
Yeah. So many people message me. But then anyways, now, as people were messaging me, whatever, randomly, I get messages. Oh, hey, do you remember me? It's me from 10 years ago. 10 years ago, do you remember I was this, that person? Do you remember this? Because obviously when I first met these people, half of them I didn't see them because they went to jail or whatever. Some of them I saw them at 19, 18, blah, blah, but it was a long time ago anyways. And you know, the funny thing is they were all like, we support you so much. Like, I support you, honestly. Like, you experienced something so traumatic and so dangerous for a human being, yet you're on YouTube, you're not scared of nobody, but you want to share your experience to try to help other people in case they might feel trapped. All of them are like, we're so proud of you, well done. The same people that I was experiencing my life with are telling me, well done, we're so proud of you, well done, like, you're doing really good.
Were you afraid to get run up on and like stabbed? Because you spoke about that one time these people came, the customers came, ran up on you, robbed you, were close to violence, were happy to like be violent towards you. Were you not worried about someone pulling a knife on you?
No, to be honest, I don't think anybody would do that to me. Besides, I know. I don't think I've ever been, I've never, like, since, are you talking about like in the sense of like YouTube and stuff like that?
Coming to rob you for your, in the past, not now, obviously not like that.
Oh, in the past, yeah. Oh yeah, all the time. Oh my goodness, I was always on edge, always. But I think it's because we were like in like massive groups and stuff like that. We were almost like, oh, you know, we're in groups, we got our friends, we're so tough, you know, we're so bad, bad. That's the energy that we always kept, which is so cute because it's like, no, people will come to you with knives. You know, like there was one specific time, these boys ran up in the house. Apparently one of them had a gun. I didn't see a gun, where I was so traumatized and so shocked.
You didn't see it?
One of them, I didn't see it. I hid under a table because I was that scared. I literally went under a table. I was that terrified. And one of the boys from our group was like, he had a gun. There were so many of them. Bear in mind, we're all teenagers and these men are like in their mid-30s. I'm not kidding. I'm pretty sure they were hitting 40s, big, tall, grown men. And they obviously saw the opportunity. They were like, you know what? They're so young. Let us, because we were making a lot of money at this point. We're making so much money. We're killing it.
How much would you say you were making a day/week profits?
Well, when I was on the block, it was about, on a good day, 4,000. Not for me though, I never took that money. It was what the line was making. But when I took over the line, it was making 8,000 per day.
Wow. And that's just from you being on the line? So as in the line, you know, you have like someone that they call up, your secretary, receptionist, whatever, you want this.
Middleman, yeah.
Would you would run them that? So what was your like customer clientele? What was your client base like? Was it like everyday people or people that, you know, I don't want to be rude, but like look like they're into like drugs basically?
It was everybody, literally everybody. I think, you know, the thing is, right, when I took over the line, we started to get like drugs that were really, really heavy stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that makes any addict go insane. people were traveling from outside of Ipswich to come into Ipswich, Felixstowe, all of these places they were coming just so that they can buy it off of us because it was pure. It was pure. It wasn't pure. It was pure heroin. It wasn't tampered with. It wasn't dabbled with. It was pure. So the line was making even more than 8,000 per day when I had the phone. And that is the exact same reason why I went to prison. It's because of the amount of attention that was on that one specific phone, you know?
Did you like, what I was going to say? I'm in shock. Did you
taken back?
Did you sleep if the phone is just ring, 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 ringing?
No. Which is kind of sad to me because it's like, I feel like it's a bit unfair.
Yeah.
Because these people that I was working with, they were making me hold all these lines. I wasn't just holding one line, I was holding 4 lines at the same time, right? So I'm responsible for picking up 4 different phones, taking the drugs back and forth from London to wherever they are, and I have to pick up all the lines. So I had no sleep, literally no sleep. I used to run on, like, literally sometimes I would sleep for 2 hours. I closed my eyes. Hello, yeah, okay. And it wasn't fair on the people that were in the trap house because I've been there. I know how it feels. I've been there, you know, calling them at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh, there's a customer outside that needs this and that and that. But then at the end of the day, when all that money's collected, the main man's going to come. He slept for like 8-9 hours. He's had a good night's sleep. And his excuse is, oh, you know what? I can only give you like maybe 1,000 out of this 8,000. 1,000 is yours. Because you know what? My excuse is, you know, I have to get more food. I have to get more drugs. I owe this person that, and I have to do this. It's just mental manipulation, you know? So now I'm getting a little bit of, well, it's not a little bit, it's still pretty decent, but compared to what I'm working for, and then there's the people that are beneath me who want to be paid. They need their money too. So you mean to tell me whatever you pay me, I have to split with everybody? There's a group of people in this house who are making all this money, right? All this money that they're holding. Sometimes some of these kids would run off with the money. They'd run off with all the money.
Are you serious?
Yes, and I don't blame them. I do not blame them. Well, furthermore, round of applause to them. Round of applause. Because this is modern day slavery, you know? It's modern day slavery. These kids are working so hard. They're coming to me or the other people who are the middlemen, whatever, where's our money, da, da, da. I'm like, you know what, here's a little bit, da, da, da. But I can only afford what I'm given. So I have to split whatever I'm given between everybody else. I can give you whatever I can afford. But they're thinking, oh, you know what? I just had £8,000 in my hand the other day. So why you're not trying to give me what this and that and that and that? Da, 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 da. They run off with the money. They run off. Good for them. Well done to them.
When you were in it at that age, did you ever think like, I need to leave at any point, or how can I get out of this? Or was it like, I understand, it's like PTSD, isn't it? Like you're just, or Stockholm, you're just so involved.
Mm-hmm.
Was there ever like a, you know, like the blinds came off and you like?
All the time, I always used to think I have to leave. I think where I was so young, and of course Stockholm syndrome, of course, you know, I was just like, oh, the same thing that's traumatizing me is the same thing that I love so much, you know. That's the idea that I had. But I always thought, you know what, just go back to college. But then I'm thinking, look at all this money. Look. Huh?
Did you leave college?
I did go to college a year, but I stayed for like a month or two, and I don't know how to explain it to you. It was like sporadically, I was just going from college. Well, actually, I only stayed for college for 2 months and I didn't go back, but I did go home. So it was always like, I was always splitting between, do I really want to live this life because I like the money? Or do I want to go home and do good and be a good child and blah, blah, blah. So it was always between those two lives for me.
Just a lot to take in.
It's a lot.
What I think that a lot of like young people, you know, in that, because you can even get runners that are like 11
yes
11 years old. They don't realize Oh, sorry, say that again.
No, I've never seen an 11-year-old runner, but I've seen a 13-year-old runner.
But they don't realize that it's like the middlemen, the men at the top, as you say, are using them, because I don't want to say you're disposable, but it's...
Yes, no, that's the word. Yes. Yes, and more yes. We're very disposable. We're very young. We're impressionable. We're like, oh, yeah, I'll do whatever you want me to do. You know, you want me to jump off the bridge? I'll jump off the bridge. We're very disposable.
Because you will be the ones getting arrested and having to go to court and having to, like, you know, do time inside, whereas they're not doing any of the labor where they can be caught. All of the crimes get pinned on you guys.
Yeah, but do you know what? I've actually been talking to several charities, and I've had the same conversation I'm having with you with several charities, and these charities are trying to work with the police to try and so basically these charities are trying to work with the police to try and, you know, the modern day slavery, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. So they're trying to get the police to understand that there's a triangle system, and the ones that they catch usually are the ones who are the victims. They're the victims of modern day slavery.
And they will be off the streets in prison, and then there'll be a new set of young people that are ready to take their place, and that's just the vicious cycle of it all. It's very easy to see, and I do think that you speaking out is absolutely fantastic, because you've got the life experience to share, you know, help you better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's just shocking. I've seen, not friends, but I've seen people that I loosely know get done like similar crimes and things, and I just think,
how do you get caught up in it? Do you know, I'm 26 years old. Until this day, I'm like, how? But then there comes the whole, you know, manipulation and getting inside a child's head. You know, if somebody came up to you, you're a 26-year-old woman, somebody comes up to me and says to me, hey, do you want to sell drugs? You can become like me. You can be a boss like me. I'm 26. You think somebody can manipulate a 26-year-old me? But obviously at that time, I'm very young, whatever, and I'm trying to fit in. I'm trying to be like, oh yeah, you know? So they're targeting the children. And that's why I think it's so important that we have these discussions. People need to understand, especially the police need to understand the victims, that the people that they're arresting, they're actually victims. If they're a teenager and they're selling drugs, 99.999% of the time, they are a run-on, okay? There's somebody on the line telling them what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, you know? So I really hope that change can be done to protect these innocent children, because really they are the victims. They're actually the victims.
Would you like to shout out any of your charities that you're working with, or any of projects you're working on, your links, your details?
I don't know if I could shout out the channel. I'll just shout out my YouTube channel, Queen Ash on YouTube. Very simple. And when you posted it, this was such an interesting conversation. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you very much for like agreeing, because I have sat on this for weeks and I was like, I need to get Queen Ash. And obviously I've been following you on Instagram, and every time you post, it's burning me, because it's like, I need to talk to you. That's how I'd be like, it's burning me. You know, I stayed up and I watched all of your YouTube videos. I couldn't rest. I wouldn't go to sleep. I had to watch everything. I was so engrossed. So if you're listening, please go and check out her YouTube channel. Show her some love.
Thank you so much.
Like, subscribe, because she's got so much more interesting content to come, I'm sure. Honestly.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh my goodness, this was such a nice little chat. This is therapy for me. You just literally gave me free therapy.
Thank you.
Free therapy.
Thank you for listening. Please tune in next week, Monday, for a new guest and a new exciting topic. Feel free to check out more of my content at ebbionline.com.